Hi everyone, this is SurPPI podcast, episode number 11. Today we are going to discuss life balance of a software engineer with Dmytro. Dmytro is a software engineer. We know each other for a few years, and recently we have talked about life balance and decided to record a podcast episode about it because it's a pretty important topic and like I yeah. So, Dima, can you
Hello.
please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Hi Ilya. Thank you for asking me to make a podcast with you. Be honest, it's my first experience. I never been recording podcast, but I decided why not? Why not to try? And yeah, as we are told, we recently discussed it. Had a conversation about life balance, and we decided maybe nice to have a podcast about it because nowadays it's actual not only for software engineers and for other specialties as well. And maybe let me introduce myself. I am a senior front-end engineer. Currently, I am working on a Belgian company. It's a product company who's building the largest administrative system in Belgium. They have 2.5 million users and help their users to manage different documents, pay bills, and share it between each other, and etc. And I'm working remotely when COVID started, so it's about 3 years. So I guess the conversation should be interesting.
Cool, cool. Uh, what is life balance for you?
Yeah, like for me, there are like life balance and work-life balance. Yeah, and maybe life balance. It's about the balance between all spheres in your life. Or in other words, it's how many time you can spend on your work, on your for your family, on your hobbies, on travel, on your personal growth, and how you at the end satisfied about everything it together. So it's about the management time and your energy between these spheres. And like work-life balance, it's probably more about how to don't work all the day, like how to not measure this is work and this is your personal life. Yeah, this is what life balance and work-life balance for me.
Hmm. And how do you measure that this is work and when do you stop? Or how do you organize your day?
Yeah, interesting question. Uh, First of all, I try to limit like working hours. For example, I start work at 9 or 9:30, yeah, and I finish, for example, at 5 or 5:30. And after that time, I try to not work. I off my computer. Uh, I don't react on the messages, so because I work at for that period. Of course, there are some situations when I sometimes do it when something urgent, but most of my colleagues understand it and do the same. And if you tell about my scheduling, um, in the morning, I have some physical exercises. For example, I woke up, had a breakfast, then do some exercises. Sometimes it's online, sometimes I visit gym because our meeting starts at 9:30 and I have time before it. So then I start working, do some like daily meetings, some other conversations, solve some problems, and then I have lunch. Like after lunch, I have some period for walking
Mhm.
outside. Yeah, and then I come to my work, continue solving some problems, work on tickets, etc. And at the evening, I limit my time at 5:30 or 6 and finish my work. So because uh, I guess for me it was much easier to do when I understood that if I work the whole day, I am not productive because I can be tired, and also like no one pay you for overtiming. So
Mhm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds reasonable. Was it always like that, or how have you built such a schedule, or like was you always organized in life, or you had to do something to in order to feel better?
Hmm. Yeah, of course, it's like the scheduling is, I know I'm not always at this scheduling. So there are some periods in life when I don't have some physical exercises, or like for a few months, for example, it's when I so tired or when I burn out. Yeah, I try to do something else, and but most of my life I try to, like, when I work in as a software engineer, I'm trying to like manage that scheduling. And when I add this routine, it helps me to be productive and
Mm-hmm.
helps me to have some activities before work and after work. So it's motivation to don't, so I can't work when I have physical exercises and committed for it. And I don't have work when I have some plans at evening, for example, with my wife or with friends or etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for your answer. And you have mentioned life spheres of your life. Can you explain it a bit more?
Yeah, sure. Um, for me, it's always interesting. Um, like I highlight like about 7 or 8 life spheres. Yeah. First, it's health. I also sometimes split it into physical health and mental health, because physical health for me is more about some physical exercises, how I feel my power. Yeah, about healthy food, what I eat on breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. Do I eat on an appropriate time? Yeah, and also some massage for relaxation. And mental health for me, it's about um, my like general state, how I am motivated, how I feel emotionally. Yeah, and for example, it's more about the meditation work with
Mm-hmm.
psychologists, sometimes with coach, sometimes with myself, trying to do some reflection and understand like why I feel like tired or burn out or etc., and work on it. So it's mostly about the physical and mental sphere. Uh, Another sphere, it's hobbies. I call it hobbies, fun, and entertainment. So for me, it's about the vacations, about, for example, when I can go to another city or another country to see something new, to have a refresh, or have some hobbies. I like snowboarding, I like karting, I like write on quotes, and it's feel me powerful, give me energy to work more. This sphere is like where I get energy, and also some fun activities. So, for example, I also include here some like everyone has some toys, for
Mm-hmm.
example, which make you happy. When I was a child, I liked like do some make something from Lego constructor, and I like it. And recently, I bought for myself like this Lego model. So and I was and it makes me happy because I build it for a few hours. I look into it. So for me, this sphere is about something, some toys, to have some toys which make you happy. So also, what else? Of course, the career and personal growth is about it's about my career path. In my example, it's about the work on a company. So how I grow as a front end engineer. So what skills I have. Yeah. Also, I try to um, do some personal growing. For example, I started to provide in some business games like cash flow. I started to do it like 3 or 2 months ago because recently I played in it often, and I want to provide it for other people, and it's also like some activities for me, how I can grow and as personality, as a maybe it will be maybe it will make I will make money on it in future, so I don't know yet. Also, it's of course the family and relationship. It's about my partner, my wife, about my family, that I always think how to spend time together, how I can help to them. So of course, finances. It's about personal finances, how I can manage it, how I can do savings, how I can plan my budget, and about the investments, how I can increase and save it. So also, it's personal growth. It's about reading books, learning something new, for example, English or Polish or German, or watching some YouTube podcasts as well, and learn something new from it. And of course, the social life sphere. It's about friends and about society, some events, some talks with other people. So it's about 7 spheres I highlight for myself, and I try to pay attention for each of them. Of course, like some period, I pay more attention for example, for personal growth, some period for health. Like I try to figure out what is more important, but like another time spend more time on different spheres.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for your answer. Like, thank you for explaining. Uh, you seem to be pretty structured and pretty systematic. Uh, how do you, but when things are not going well, like when you have, for example, a burnout, or when you start seeing that it might be a burnout, how do you recover? Like when things are not going in a planned way, like when you, like, for example, uh, uh, like I want to expand the question. In which situations do you have a burnout, and then how do you recover?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For example, as I worked with my coach, I understood they like mostly I can have burnout. For example, in job, yeah, in my professional life, it's when uh, I don't have something interesting to do for a long time. For example, I had the situations few times, so it was on one of my projects that, for example, I was working about 1 year, and it's the started stage of the project where not too much interesting tickets, no roadmap, like, and no understanding how we will go, yeah, in the future. So also I didn't grow as a developer, and I started to burn out from that situation. So, and I don't have a recipe how to reflect from it. So what I try to do always is find like maybe in my life what I can do that will motivate me. For example, okay, if I don't have too much interest in work on a project, I will try to find this interesting work in my life. For example, some hobbies, or maybe create some pet project. It also sometimes help. But I don't have like the final question because time to time a situation could happen with me. Like I'm working on it, how to fully recover from it. Yeah, but there are some small steps like hobby, something interesting that help me to get with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. Uh, let's talk about your work-life balance. What helps you to be more focused on work?
In work-life balance, what helps me to be more focused? Mm, I guess like the important thing is to have my own space, like office, your room where I can work and no one bothering me. Uh, because, for example, it helped me to focus on work, on my work. I don't hear any noise or no one bothering me, and I guess it's really useful. I can imagine how other people who have few children work in one room or small house, because you need to have you need to be really power and to have a lot of nerves to be able to work in that atmosphere. So I am trying to be in a be a dedicated place and work from it. Also, I always on a silent mode on my phone. It helps me to not focus on some other things, for example, some messages, some SMS, some newsletters, or I don't know, someone chat me, so I can focus directly on my task. And when I will have a break or lunch, I can check messages, what happens. So it also helped me to be more focused. For example, headphones. I like to listen music, especially when someone in my house doing something, for example, cooking, or I don't know, have another meeting. For example, when my wife have another meeting, I try to use headphones to be more focused on my tasks. So, and maybe like don't do everything at the same time.
Mm.
I'm trying to do like one task at one time and not be like not do multitasking, because it's
Mhm.
like unfocused for me. I can't do it properly then. So it's what about what helps me to be more focused, and I can share what helps me to be more productive as well
Mhm.
during the work. So it's I'm trying to do breaks.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not like for me, it's sometimes difficult to control, because when you have really interesting ticket and you dive into it and you're doing it, you don't look at the time. So, and you can, I don't know, I can work 3 or 4 hours and then realize, oh, it's 3 or 4 hours gone. So, and I didn't have a break, but I try to do some reminders on my phone to have some small breaks, to have a big break for lunch and walking outside. It helps me to refresh my mind. And sometimes when I go outside and think about some challenging task, how to solve it, the ideas come to my mind when I'm walking. So it works for me. For example, uh, of course, it's physical exercises in the morning. Sometimes can have it at evening or any time of the day. But when I woke up in the morning and do some physical exercises, it helps me to feel powerful energy, uh, and then I can do any challenging ticket. So yeah, and I guess as well it's important to have a vacations, go somewhere. It's also can help to like refresh, to have a fresh view on some things. Yeah, and I'm also interested. Do you have some life hacks which help you to be more productive or more focused during the work? I guess it will be interesting if you can share.
Yeah. Recently I relearned how to meditate, and it helps me a lot. It helps me to be less stressful, be like not rush, also focus on a single task instead of trying to do everything at the same time. Uh, and also breathing exercises. Like I do, uh, like there are different breathing patterns, and there are basically I use a metronome, and like there is a breathing pattern called, like there is a square breathing where I breathe like for example for 4 seconds, then have a delay, then exhale for 4 seconds, then have a delay, and like breathing like a square. It helps to balance right and left sides of brain, and by doing this, it helps me to be at first it helps me to uh, be in contact with my body and with my hand, because these are most common cases when I starting to lose connection with mind or body. I'm starting to do weird things like being hyper focused and hyper like and also hyper tired, for example. Yeah, or
Yeah.
being yeah, or being multitasking. So, and I also, as you mentioned, I take breaks. I use Pomodoro technique just as a reminder. So every 25 minutes, I at least have a reminder to take a break. And the same way, I use a mobile application for breathing exercises, and there is a breathing pattern for it's I guess it's clear mind. It's named clear mind. So where exhalation is 3 times longer than inhalation, and I do it for 25 minutes. It's the same period of time as my Pomodoro. Helps me to be in contact with myself. I guess this
Yeah,
is the most
interesting.
common. Like this
Yeah,
is what I recently have found out, because everything else that I've done previously was about doing exercises, and like meditation right now works for me better than doing exercises. Like I also do exercises, like at the at morning I do yoga. Like it usually takes from 30 minutes to 1.5 hours. Also, I recently started to do self-regulation before going to sleep in order to completely reveal the stress before going to bed, and it also helps a lot. Like even now, like for example, for several days I went to bed at midnight or even later, and woken up at 6 a.m. because because of family reasons, and I felt pretty good. Like only my eyes were a bit of tired, but tired by, like because I still working out on also relaxing my eyes, but entire body was like very flexible. It's like it's very interesting how so like there are so simple techniques to help to reduce overall stress. So all of my uh, methods to be more focused or more productive are related only to mind-body connection. Like I don't have anything specific for tools or specifically about the work. Thank you for your
yeah,
question.
yeah. I heard interesting about the breathing, so I also started recently use this technique when I do exercises in the morning with trainer online. So we start using this technique for maybe 10 minutes, and there are some YouTube video where we have 3 rounds of breathing, and we, for example, 30 times inhale and exhale, and then we stop our breathing for some period of time and do it again. And so it was fine in the morning, and a few times I had situation when I can't sleep because I thought about a lot of things. It was like stressful day, and I try to do the technique at the evening, and it works. So it helped me to go my minds outside, so focus on my body, on my breathing, and sleep better. So I'm trying to also practice it.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess it's very useful techniques in some situations. Yeah, and maybe what else I want to mention about work-life balance. What I use is, for example, it's Slack statuses. For example, when I go for lunch or somewhere, I don't know, I need to visit a doctor, I set status BRB, or for
Mm-hmm.
example, lunch and pause notifications, so and my team knows that I am not at the desk, and they don't send me messages, because it also can pay my attention. So the statuses help to identify I am not working now, please don't send me message. Or I also use focuses mode on my iPhone. Uh, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I have do not disturb, and I use it when I go, for example, for massage or somewhere, and I am able to turn on it, for example, for some specific event in my calendar. And when the event finished, so focus mode also will switch to the default. And I also use my own mode. For example, for work, I use Slack, Outlook, and some other applications. And I don't want to see messages at evening when I have a rest. And I created a like evening mode, evening focus mode, where I added applications from work and muted them.
Mm-hmm.
For example, from 6 till sleep time or till the next morning. So, and I don't pay attention into it.
Hmm.
Do you use any mods on your phone?
Yes, I use do not disturb every time. Like I don't disable it.
Yeah. And do you use Apple Watch?
I use Android.
Oh, okay. Because I like this connection, like the silent mode on my phone and my Apple Watch. Like I don't hear this like ring call on my phone.
Uh-huh.
It's just a slow vibration on my Apple Watch, and I get to use it, so it's don't pay attention people around it. Don't pay attention to my don't pay too much my attention. When it's more vibration, I just look into it, okay, its message, and no like any signals. Maybe what else I'm using? For example, when I go to vacation, for example, for a week, I book into my working calendar that I am busy for whole this week, so no one sent me event, and I also add status in Slack and pause notifications, so I don't have any pop-up messages on my phone during the vacation.
Makes sense. Uh-huh. Thank you. But I do have Slack on your phone.
Sorry?
Why do you have Slack on your phone?
It's a good question. Like, for example, um, yeah, if I try to limit my work, I shouldn't have a Slack on my phone. Yeah, but sometimes when I go for a walk, and maybe someone will have something urgent to me, but so for my current job, I don't use Slack from my phone too often, but from my previous job, I used it and I did a bit overtiming. And I used it, for example, when I go at evening somewhere and client tell me, okay, I can answer on a question, but now I don't do it
Mm-hmm.
like because it's my personal time. So I try to explain everyone that I don't work at evening at 9, so it's my limits. Yeah, but I still have it. Yeah.
You have mentioned that you have like it's important for you to have a convenient office. for work.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you deal with that while working remotely? Do you work from your home or do you work right now from a working space or how it works for you?
Yeah. Um, like about 3 last years of working from home. And it was my like main criteria when I looking for flat for rent. Yeah. Does it two room or one bedroom? So,
Uh-huh.
and I am trying to look in a flat where I will have some additional room where I can work. For example, currently I also have my dedicated room where I can work, but currently I am in a living room because here is better walls. So in a picture on a wall, yeah, but I have my dedicated room and try to work from there. Maybe it's not possibility for everyone, but so I also thought about to visit some co-working, but we live a bit outside of the center in a complex which is outside of the center, and I don't want to spend time going to the co-working, going to the center because it's of course 30 or 1 hour I need to spend for one side and back, so it's time. So I try to save my time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a bit lazy to go every day somewhere. And
But, but
do you work from dedicated room or how you work?
right now I work from balcony. Uh, so it's kinda my office, but I don't have a dedicated place. And in the next apartment I will rent, I'm looking for some room where I can close the door and do not distract. Do not distract.
Yeah, I guess also the benefit of your own room, like let's call it office, your personal
Uh-huh.
office, that you can to have a good chair, can
Yes.
have a desk, a monitor, because like before COVID starts, I was working from a just laptop, and my neck is like always a bit down, and I feel the pain. So, and I started with it massages. I bought monitor and a keyboard, so and I can like sit still, yeah, and it's more comfort for me. And when you have your special room, so you can buy table, chair, monitor, keyboard, so everything you need.
Yeah. You have mentioned several times that you work with a coach. How many, like when you started, why you started, why have you found a coach and
Mhm.
as a result?
Yeah, I am working with coach maybe about 2 years, but we work, for example, she provides 5 sessions together, like because it's like if client have some problem and it's not always possible to solve it through one session, so this is why it's like a suite of sessions. And for example, I have some problem, I go to my coach, okay, I need your help, and we booked 5 sessions. It comes like every month, so once at 1.5 months. Like in general, I have it every month to have some time to reflect on it. And why I decided to work with coach because I had some problems. Mm, Maybe the first reason it was that I can increase my income, and we tried to discuss how to do it, what I can do for it, yeah. And like another request, it was how I can uh, one moment, how to formulate it. It was about how to be more productive. We also working about the productivity because as a developer, for example, if you like to do something, because I love my job, I can do it like every day, the whole day. and sometimes it's so interesting that you can do some additional work is not needed. Like I don't know, maybe it's a general problem for every developer, but if you enjoy from it, so you can do it the whole day. And sometimes I need to say stop to myself because no one requested for this like kind of functionality, and I just do it because I like it. So and like when I do something additional, I spend my energy, then I tire it. I can overtime, and I was working also on it. So how to don't do what you not asked. So
Yeah, seems to be pretty important.
yeah, I guess it's also related to work-life balance.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and like coach, like she didn't help me to solve questions. She just asked me correct questions, like to see from the different side on the situation, and like push me to think, to reflect on something, and say what I feel, what I think. So like, yeah. And
Also,
do
yeah.
you,
Uh-huh.
yeah, do you also, did you try to work with coach? So interesting
Not
what
with
requests you had.
not with coach, but with therapist. I had personal. It was both like it was a personal situation, uh, and the reason of it was my full dedication to work, and I worked on it, revealed several things to work on. Basically, we have done several psychological not tricks, but like psychological things. I don't remember how it was named, but I have, and it was partially fixed. And then I station and psychophysical, psycho-emotional activities. Like
Mm-hmm.
it also looks like a session with therapist, but it is simple. Yeah, I can share about it. It's super simple, and at the same time it's very effective. And yeah, I didn't work. I haven't worked as a coach, like only with.
Yeah, I also sometimes working with psychologist, but it's more on like some mental health,
Mm-hmm.
like when I so stressed, when I can't sleep sometimes, yeah, kind of these things. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and when you have seen uh, like I know that some people don't like, not some people, myself personally, like for several years I felt that I like psychologist or therapist would help me, but I was self-sabotaging myself and didn't actually schedule an appointment to a therapist. Uh, and then it like after like first session I already revealed some stress. Uh, have you observed something similar from your in your life, like when you have when it was the first time you asked for help,
Mm.
if you can share?
Maybe, yeah, maybe like you mean for for psychologists, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it started a few years ago because, like, before it, I am young, I am powerful, I know everything. So, and and be honest, I not really pay attention on some things in my life. But when you start speaking with other people who work with psychologists, you like hear different opinions and you think, okay, interesting. Okay, I didn't think about it. I didn't think it that way. And my first request to psychologist was maybe 3 years ago. Uh, I don't exactly remember what I asked it, but maybe it was about some behavior, my behavior, or some situations in my life. I don't really remember, but I don't do it like too often. Maybe I can have one request in per year. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I guess so. To work with psychologists, like you need to do some reflection for yourself, to find some like painful points and go with it to psychologists. But um, like this year, I started to do reflection like more often. But previous years, I didn't do it too much, and I like thought, okay, I don't have anything to ask for help from psychologists. So and yeah, because I didn't do reflection.
When you mention reflection, what do you mean?
Like I mean, like when I think about some situations, how what was my behavior there, yeah, and try to think I why I behave this way, and like try to see the sequence of my actions. Okay, what was the trigger? What I did then, when I did then, and what I did at the end, and try to think, okay, is it I want to do it that way? Is it fine for me or no? If not fine, I start to think, okay, what I did wrong, what triggered me to do it. So this is, I mean, reflection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. And also, you have mentioned that you uh, training with a personal trainer online, how it works.
Yeah. So mm, so currently I'm doing it online because we are in different countries. But when I was in Kiev, so I had it. I visited gym a few times per week, and we had personal offline trainings. Yeah, but currently I have online training, so we have a call via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like for 1 hour, there are some number of people, 3, 5 people, and we start from breathing. We start from some exercises, then we do some physical exercises, like we up difficulty of exercises during the our training. So and like trainers show us how he doing something, ask us repeat it, and we do it like a few times. Sometimes he can ask someone to do that exercise and like pin him on the big screen to see like does this person do it correct or no, and fix it. So and at the end we have stretching, sometimes like meditation. So it's like a number of tools in the morning which help me to be more productive, more energy, and relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
and it's like interesting to do it online because I understand I am a bit lazy and I don't do it by myself, and that is why I'm trying to find something I can commit that I will do it, and when you do it together with someone, it's much easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but actually, you have mentioned interesting point. But what is like? Do you like remote work more than work from office, or vice versa?
Mhm. I didn't work from office for 3 years when COVID starts. So now for me, it's difficult to imagine how to work from office, but sometimes I have a desire For example, my clients in Belgium, and sometimes I want to be there to work a few days from office, to talk to people, just to talk about something, to feel this atmosphere. So sometimes it's needed, yeah. But working from home, I feel really productive, and sometimes it's difficult because you don't have someone to talk. So, and I try to meet more often with my friends in real life, or visit some events, or visit, for example, massage, to talk with people. Yeah, because if you work remotely, you don't have no one to talk except your family, except your wife, children. So it's sometimes difficult. Yeah. Do you feel the same?
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Visiting gym and other physical exercises in a group also helps me. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and maybe so do you remember I told you that I, I do like every year a few exercises which help me like to keep eye on my life balance. So I guess I can share it. Maybe it will be interesting for
Mhm. Mhm.
our audience who is listening to podcast. So the first exercise, I guess everyone know, but maybe no one pay too much attention to for it. I try to do it like every year, sometimes few times per year. It's life balance hill, like like the hill where
Mhm.
you have like 6 or 8 different spheres of life, and you need to evaluate them from like 0 to 10. And I try to do it every year. And for example, if I evaluate some sphere, like for example, not 10, but 8, and I don't have a 2 points, I need to create action points for these 2 points. What I don't have to feel satisfied in this sphere. So, and when I have these action points, and just add it to my to-do list and try to work on it. For example, if I have too much like action points in every sphere, I try to prioritize them and, for example, pick up 2 or 3 spheres and work on them. So it helped me to understand where I need more attention. It's the first one. And the second one, it's I did it a few times only, but it was useful. It's like how to understand on what things you're wasting the time, or spend your time, not always
Uh-huh.
wasting. It's like you during the whole day need to track what you're doing. For example, you put a timer on every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, for example, and every 10 minutes you write what you did. For example, I created it, I work on ticket, I search it in Instagram, I search Instagram again, I talk to my friend, and etc. Uh, and I guess you will be like wondered, surprised, because when I did it first time, before exercise, I thought, okay, I whole day working, I don't have a time. But when I read what I listed, so I was impressed that okay, I spend some time there, there, and there, and I can have like few additional hours per day. So, and it's also helped to understand where to get time.
Do you set a reminder for 5 to 10 minutes to write down what you have done, or have you done it without a reminder?
I did it with a reminder on my phone. For example, it was I don't know, alarm or timer for every 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes. And when I hear the signal, I write what I did. But for example, when you practice this exercise more often, you can do it without a reminder. And for example, you can do it with less periods, for example, every 30 minutes, because you remember what you did. Or for example, if you have I don't know, visit to the doctor, you just log 1 hour to the doctor or etc. So you can maybe for not every hour you need a reminder.
Yeah. Basically, for me, it's like I like this approach. For me, it seems to be both mindfulness and being conscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing it. And about life balance spheres, like, and you have mentioned that you have a to-do list. Do you have a single to-do list for everything for your life, or do you have multiple to-do lists? How do you basically organize your...
So it's changing from time to time. For example, currently I use a few tools. First one is a reminder on my iPhone. It's mostly for some repeated tasks. For example, I need every month pay my bills, and I just add it to reminder. But I also use Notion with a board which is split by spheres of my life, and I created tickets, for example, for some things. For example, if it's this thing could take more than 1 day or more than 4 hours, yeah, I create a ticket for it. I describe. I sometimes I mention sub tickets. For example, I'm going to vacation. I don't know. For example, for Germany, yeah, and I create a general ticket, put it on the board, mark when I'm going to work on it. For example, in on April, and I create sub tickets. Okay, I need to book flight. I need to book hotel. I need to check sightseeing, what I'm gonna to see. I need to tell about my vacation on my work, for example, and I try to assign it for also for months when I will doing. And so when I open that board, I have different tickets prioritized by months. For example, I open the current months and see what I need to do. It helps me also every morning when I open it, focus, okay, I'm focusing on my vacation and focusing, for example, on preparing for the podcast. Yeah. And every time I open, I remember about it and I do
Uh-huh.
these tickets. So sometimes I plan it to the calendar.
Cool. So you open that Notion board every morning, like did I understood you correctly?
Yeah, I open it every morning to remember, like, to remember what I'm going to work today, and I can open it during the day just to see the ticket details or something else, or change the status of the ticket.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Why Notion? Why not just a plain notebook or right?
hmm Yeah, because Notion is really flexible, I can create different fields. For example, I have fields like uh, months, I have fields like sphere of life. I have status fields like it's in progress, or it's finished, or I need to do it, and I can filter by these fields. And also Notion provide you a different views, like you have a Kanban board, you can have a table, you can have a list, and for different views, for example, for different reasons, I can need a different uh, view, and also I can make a configuration of what fields I want to see on this view, and it's really flexible. Maybe for first time it will be difficult to understand how you want to see it, yeah, and you can start from Trello or something simpler. But when I have a lot of tickets, I need to have something flexible.
Mm-hmm. Have you used some template or you just came with something from your own?
I didn't use templates. So I come with my own, and it was look like Jira, but
Uh,
more flexible Jira. So
uh-huh. Uh, can you share a template? Or based on what you have?
Let me think.
Or a screenshot with blurred everything personal.
Yeah, I guess I can do it. So I can do a screenshot of few my boards and with a small explanation for why I'm using it when it's useful.
Thank you.
So yeah, I guess we can attach it in the comments or at the end of the video maybe, or provide some link, and
Yeah.
maybe someone can create the same or and start using it.
I will do that.
So you can try and tell me feedback how it will work for you.
Yeah, thank you. Because like during the recent weeks, I'm thinking about organizing my life, and thank you for your help.
Yeah, welcome. We'll be happy if it will work for you. So and you can save a time.
Cool. My last question, not really question, but can you share a message or suggestion for yourself, let's say 5 or 10 years ago?
Okay. Let me think. Probably the message could be really proud of what you're doing and how much time and energy you spend to grow yourself. And if you continue in that temp how you're doing things, so you will be really successful in the future and you will be happy about it. Don't stop.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you also for the podcast. So it was interesting to talk, and for me, it's interesting. Like, I will be really happy if someone from our watchers will use some small hack, or I don't know, something what we are talking, and it can improve a bit his life.
Yeah, yeah. That's the point of this episode. Yes. Okay, then we can wrap up. So to summarize, today we have talked about life balance of a software engineer, and Dmytro have shared his approach to schedule his day, life, to organize his life in Notion. Like basically that's what I've took. So do exercises, do play like fulfill all of their life spheres instead of only work and family, and eliminate time wasting activities. Also ask for help of coach or therapist if needed, and also do regular vacations and regular breaks during the day.
Yeah, and don't overtime.
Yeah, yes. Actually, it's pretty. Yeah, it can be a topic of another podcast about overtiming and like how to fix that.
And probably the result of overtime and of burnout, or when you like tired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can discuss it in another episode because yes, it's a complicated topic and it not always results into the burnout, but some people can manage it.
Yeah, of course. And I want to say to something to your audience. So don't hesitate to like this video and leave some comment For us, it's really important, your feedback, because it was my first experience recording the podcast, and I also will appreciate for any feedback. So what was interesting to you, what we can improve, so maybe what other topics or related topics will be interesting to you to hear. So like and leave a feedback. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for wrapping up, Dmytro.
Okay, bye.
Bye.